Hello, Transformers and Blokees fans. This is Speedball Harlan today for you guys. I have you returning with their second release. I have you the Blokees Transformers 1 Galaxy Volume 7 release. And yes, friends, we have it. Another volume of Transformers 1 Blokees units. And besides, of course, their known Champion class series, this is their new Galaxy versions. And my friends, I have to say, Blokees is really stepping up the game with their TF1 and Galaxy units for a lot of reasons, especially in this volume, my friends, because for one, for those who are not aware of this volume, just like Volume 5 with their first volume, Blokees has once again taken the opportunity to revolution their Blokees Galaxy Transformers by adding and upgrading their molds, meaning in this case, the articulation and mainly like the torso sections like they did with the previous volume, but in this case, they've just really gone all out because not only do all the new units here have more articulation points than the previous, but now we've even had new additions and new possibility for future releases, such as our now TF1 Cogless Elito 1 you see here, aka the very first Blokees Galaxy Fembot. Now, yes, I know we do have the Champion class Elita 1 and Rise of the Beast RC units. Yes, but those are not technically Galaxy units, so there's the difference. But in this case, we now finally have the very first Fembot to join the line, meaning, and hopefully, that with future volumes of the G1's releases, we will also get some Fembots in those lines as well. At least one can hope, right? But what makes her unique in this volume's case is because, as you can obviously tell, her proportions are pretty much a lot different to the other characters, which is probably one of the reasons why Fembots hadn't been included yet, because as you can see, her arms, legs, and so forth are much smaller and thinner, skinnier pretty much, and any ways that most of the other Blokees standard bots would look, which of course is probably the reasons why. But another point is that, as a number of fans noticed with articulation points with her, it seems they decided to utilize their Blokees Marvel mold designing because they added many points of articulation starting with an actual ab crunch. Yes, we have an ab crunch now, my friends, and she can go this way, this, all the way she wants because of a ball joint set up in her torso section. She, of course, has normal articulation here, full 360 here, ball jointed wrist, just like normal, but she also has thigh rotation here with some great swivel, knee bend with no problem, as you can see, and such like that. And of course, great accuracy to her TF1 design, which I definitely like. And as you can see, she actually comes with the booster pack that we saw in the movie, which is really cool accessory. Now, you might wonder why she doesn't have a blaster or anything like the other Cogless characters usually come with. Well, that's because Blokees decided to give her a special accessory, the Cybertronian style deer from the movie. Literally, they gave us a deer creature. I forgive me if that's not the accurate name for this. I'm just taking my best guess offhand. But it is really cool because we've been seeing a number of these kind of little releases with their Galaxy units now with miniature characters, vehicles, or beast creatures with them, and it's so cool. They actually went and gave us the deer from the movie, so that's pretty cool. I do like that. It's just so much fun. And, that's what's great with this volume because you get so many new accessories, new characters, and so forth, including such characters like the Elder, one of the 13 himself, Alpha Trion. Yes, we finally have an Alpha Trion release. And I say this because pretty much ever since the movies came out, guys, I've been hoping to see some more Alpha Trions. I mean, don't get me wrong, we have the Hasbro ones, which is fine and cool in their in ways, but I was hoping to see some more releases for models and other such releases like this. And that's finally what we have, my friends, and it's so cool. I like it because I was really curious how they would design him and such, and he comes with his awesome beam saber right here, and he just looks so cool and accurate, and articulation-wise, it's unique because he actually has a different setup for his neck section here. He uses a double ball joint setup, which allows his head to literally turn all the way around if you want, back and forth with no problem. Normal 360 here. The new, of course, updated joints, and like I already mentioned, new articulated waist sections for all of them, of course, in this volume. So you can now definitely have some fun poses with these. And it's just really cool to finally get Alpha Trion, which hopefully means that if we were, per se, to see a Volume 3 for the TF1 line, that we will start seeing maybe, who knows, maybe some of the 13 primes outside of Alpha here. Am I right? I mean, come on, friends. Who wouldn't want to see a Megatronus? Huh? Zeta? Anyone? But yes, it is really cool. Now, unfortunately, as you notice, he does not come with his really cool cloak. But, I mean, I could understand in this case. I'm hoping maybe to find a way to give him a cloak later on. That'd be really cool. But for now, it's awesome that we finally have him. And other such characters from the movies I know many fans have been waiting on, such as the three you see here: Soundwave, Shockwave, and of course, Starscream. Yes, we have the trio once again. I know that sounds funny because usually we always get these three, but it's always nice to have them now in their, once again, Galaxy scales. But it's really cool because, as I've already mentioned, these three have been upgraded with all the new Galaxy joints and such, and it's really cool and fun. I mean, Soundwave's awesome because he's got the classic chess gimmick, which really has some nice detailing in there. It's really nice. He's got all the fun articulation points you can play with them, such. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't come with any cassettes, but I mean, I don't believe there was any design for him for the movie, so that's why. But it's really nice. The detailing is great. I mean, just for the Galaxy version, it's awesome. And same with Shockwave. He looks awesome, fully decked out, nice surface details and all that, full articulation, just like the others. Now, a cool fact to know is that for this version, you actually get a standard arm piece too, like you see here, for this arm. So if you want, friends, you don't actually have to keep the standard Shockwave, cannon arm here. You could actually give them two standard arms, which is really cool. But another factor I like about this is that they designed Shockwave here with a new shoulder setup, which gives his arms even more articulation capability, which is really fun. I do like that. It's so cool, and so many possibilities for future stuff as well. And of course, that includes Starscream here because he's got his whole high guard command look, that evil smirk of his, and of course all the nice, very movie accurate detailing, molding, playability, and such, which I'm super glad for. And I am hoping that for a future volume we will see more high guard seekers because, of course, I know probably a number of fans would love to have a number of the seeker units, which pretty much not many brands that I know of offhand have really touched upon when it comes to the TF1 design. So it'd be cool to see more of them. Am I right, friends? And of course, speaking of awesome designs, we now, of course, have ones I know many fans have probably waited for, such as our buddy D16 cogless version, because for those who got the first volume, aka Volume 5, will know that we actually got his cogged version in that volume, which is a good version, of course, but it also felt that the volume was left incomplete because we did not have his full evolution setup like we almost had, like pretty much we almost had with Optimus Primes. But it's really cool, though, because D16 looks very accurate. Nice surface detail, the whole Decepticon sticker on his shoulder here. It looks great. And of course, the iconic backpack unit is on him as well, so it's awesome to have. I do like that. And of course, if you have Volume 5, you can now complete the old buddy team up of D16 and Orion Pax. It is so cool. I definitely am glad and such. And of course, completing other such versions, including our good old buddy Badassatron himself. No, we're not talking about Bumblebee. He doesn't exist. We're talking about Badassatron right here, friends. And yes, just as his other versions we have, he looks as badass as ever in this version, of course. I'm sorry, friends. I'm just having a little fun. But yes, Buddy 127 looks awesome, just as his champion class version does, and I definitely like it. I mean, you got the cool battle mask setup, and if you are wondering, yes, you do have a standard face piece for him as well, so all you have to do is just swap this part out for that, and you can have either version. But unfortunately, I must mention, you do not get dual arm blades or arm cannons in this release. Sadly, you would have to get two of him to complete it if you wanted a dual setup. But honestly, I'm okay with it either way because it's just really cool that they actually gave us both weapons at least to play with. And I was honestly curious how they would have done the arm blade for the Galaxy version. So all it is just attach it to the arm port here and such. So it's really cool. Simple but fun. And yes, the articulation points will make him extra playable and extra badass. So that's that's awesome for him. And lastly, of course, we got to look at the next leader of Autobots, the next prime of primes, and the former best friend of D16 himself, Orion Pax cogged version, not Optimus. I'm talking about Orion Pax. And yes, he looks really good. The detailing on him looks nice. The accuracy to the movie is great. And of course, as you can see him carrying the accurate and very fun accessory pieces he comes with, starting with the Matrix of Leadership. It is in one color minus the jewel piece, but it is cool because you can attach it to the standard Blokees hands that you see here, so you can have them literally open the matrix, so to speak, and such. But besides that, you also get the mining tool unit, grinding unit you see, which is playable and posable, well, grindable, I guess the word would be. But it is cool. All it is just attach the arm, and you can put it on either arm or whoever you want. So it's awesome. Oop, my bad. and such. But let me see. Honestly, I really am impressed with Blokees with this new volume's new articulation capabilities because I'm hoping this means that we'll see the same articulation points for the next G1 volume. It'll be interesting to see which characters will get upgraded because honestly, you could just feel the difference between the volumes 5 and volume 7 units with this new articulation points between the new ball jointed necks. Literally, you can swivel them all around, the new waist articulation, and such like that. It's just crazy cool. I love it. And, it'll be great to see what characters will get it next and such. But to help you out, let me show you some comparisons with their Volume 5 variations, starting with, of course, Orion Pax with his, of course, his cogless self and his, of course, Optimus Prime self, which, as you can see, it's just great to have the setup now of all three versions and such. And like I said, it's pretty cool. And it's great to have the three of them together. It's awesome. I mean, I had the same feeling when we had the first release with the Champion class versions, but it's really cool to finally see it all set up like this from beginning to end. It's just awesome. And not just him, of course. Of course, we got to show him off with Megatron's evolution from D16 to Megatron himself. As you can see with his cogged self and his cogless version, Megatron's evolution is now complete, and it is awesome as well to have, because, I mean, that was the only bummer part, is that we didn't have his cogless self, but now that we do, it looks great together. I do love it. And one minor note, almost forgot to mention, is that if you get the Megatron unit, you will also get this actual cog. You will literally get a cog with the Megatron unit, which is really cool. Now, and if you were wondering about the chase rare in this volume, Megatron was the chase rare in this version, and I have to say, I really do wish I could have pulled it. It would have been awesome, because what's cool about it is that his version comes with metallic coloring, an ion cannon with a clear end piece, and a Decepticon insignia piece from the end of the movie, which I really want to get. It looks so cool to have. But it's awesome that he comes with his cog as well, and so forth, friends, and such. And like I said, the setup is perfect. I love it, and such. Now, of course, why don't we do a couple other ones while we're at it, starting with, well, with Badass himself with his cogless badass self, I guess the best way to put it. And it is awesome too as well. It's just really cool. I mean, I just love it. It's fun to play with both versions, of course, always. But we're not done comparison either, because why not? We got Soundwave here, and if you've been collecting the champion classes like I have, you have champion class Soundwave, which is really nice. The metallic coloring on this version is nice, but the classic white G1 style is great on him too. And it's really cool to see the differences in sizes. And this is a great comparison so you guys can see the differences. And honestly, both versions look really cool to me. I like them. And of course, later on, my friends, in another video, you will see my reviews on the champion class versions of all three of the Decepticons, including Shockwave with Shockwave. And it's really cool to see these two set up as well. And honestly, you almost couldn't tell the difference in the sense because of how similar, of course, the design was done for both versions. It's awesome. And honestly, it's just amazing how well Blokees designed both of these. I can't wait to see what comes next for both the Champion and Galaxy series. It'll be great. And of course, lastly, oh, my bad. Is, of course, the Air Commander with his Air Commander self, as you can see, and either version honestly is a lot of fun, my friends. I mean, and the fact is, either version we have, there's always that percent chance that either one of these molds are going to get reused again for other high guard units, and that would be awesome to see, because there's certain characters I would love to see. But yes, as you can see, they, just having both versions is awesome. In fact, I hope at some point maybe we'll see a high guard version of some of the other Seekers, of course, and maybe even the other characters. But also, I'd love to see some champion class versions of some of the 13 primes, maybe. It just depends, friends, and so forth. Well, yes, that is it, my friends, for today. And honestly, friends, would I recommend this volume to you? Absolutely. I mean, I really don't have any issues with this volume. The pieces are all cool. The characters you get are great. And of course, if you have the previous volume, it's just going to complete the setup even more. And you never, and plus, like I already said, who knows? We might get a volume 3 at some time with other characters you might like. Heck, maybe a Darkwing, Arachnid, 13 Prime members. It just depends, friends. Heck, maybe we'll get some other Cogless Autobots. Huh? Any of the Cogless characters you guys might like? Well, that's pretty much it for today, my friends. So yes, of course, I hope you'll consider picking this volume up and volume 5 as well, because of course the complete setup for certain characters, of course. So yes, that is it for today, my friends. I thank you always for coming. I do hope you're enjoying your hobbies, and I will see everyone until all are one. Am I right? See you later.